You found Michigan's retirement coach, Mike Douglas.
What's that sound that you hear besides the lawnmowers that seem to fire up every time you and I get ready to record a podcast? Oh, wait. That is the hideous sound of me dragging my giant soapbox across a very loud concrete floor. Get ready
for this one today.
Get ready for heads to bob and fingers to wag.
Yep.
Because I've got thoughts, Mike Douglas.
Sure do.
This is Mike Douglas, certified financial planner, also known as Michigan's retirement coach. I'm Heather Branch. Genuinely being here with, just questions, just trying to, I try to make you the bear to poke. I try to get you, on your soapbox. But today it's my turn to get on the soapbox as a woman who is reading what I just read. And now granted, we always talk about be careful what you read, be careful what you listen to.
Yeah.
But even if this statistic is a fraction of the truth as far as percentages.
This resonated with me quite a bit from what I see in the field.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about it. The changing landscape of women and finances and the lack of financial support that us women are getting is alarming. Raise the flags up. Ladies, pay attention. Fellas, if you're listening to this and you have women in your life that you love so much, get them in on this conversation because there was an op-ed on MarketWatch.com talking about the changing landscape for women and finances. Here's some of what they found. One, nearly 45% of U.S. households, women earn equal or more than their husbands. Two, 40% of American businesses are owned by women. This is the big one that we really need to, I think we need to do a lot more conversations about this, Mike. By 2048, women are projected to inherit 80% of the $100 trillion that will be transferred in the Great Wealth Transfer. Women are going to inherit 80% of this. Meanwhile, we're not getting any kind of financial support, or we are, but not to the point that we need it. The financial advice that women are getting, if at all, it's outdated. Many advisors still operate under the assumption that it's the husband who makes the financial decisions in married couples. This study also says single women are basically just altogether ignored. So I want to ask you, what areas do you see commonly overlooked when it comes to women in finance and the planning process? And at your office at Life Plan Financial Design, how are you working to bridge this gap for the conversation of women and our financial futures?
Well, let's start with kind of what got us here.
Yeah.
And so the average financial advisor, I think the last study I saw is a 57-year-old man.
Okay.
So start with there. Okay. Also, they tend to work with people within 10 years of their age, either way.
Okay.
So they're working with people in their 60s, some in their 40s, but more so 50s and 60s, almost to 70. There is a generational difference in how things were handled.
Okay.
Now we're seeing it die off from what it used to be. I can remember when I first got in the industry, I mean, the people that we had were in their 70s to 80s. Those people were born in the 30s.
Right.
And so as we come through with them, they're saying, oh, no, I mean, we got this certain family model and it's 100% the old traditional model. And I'm not by any means discriminating the old model or the new model.
This is just what it is. This is just facts.
We actually live the most old model, right? Like I work, Kimberly stays home with the kids. We're a single income family. I handle the finances. Kimberly runs the home. Like we run the most traditional old school model.
Okay.
That is not the right or wrong model. But I'm saying when I say these things, it comes from a place of that's what we're doing.
Right.
But so that's our older generation, our 80 and plus people. That's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw kind of this shift towards people born maybe 10 years later.
Yeah.
Where the husband would control the retirement finances. The wife ran the home budget, which is interesting because now you say, well, I'll handle the bigger picture long-term thing.
Mm-hmm.
But your job is to make sure that the bills get paid and that we have money for groceries. And that was the start of the shift towards more female involvement in finances.
Okay.
And then as it continued to progress forward, then we saw more and more women who worked their full career. And so now as the clients come through and they're about 60 years old or so, extremely common to see dual income families.
Yep.
And that's the shift. But if you think back to the clients that the advisor who's 57 to 60 worked with over the past 30 years,
mm-hmm.
it was the more traditional, the old school model, which is The husband handled the finances for retirement and the budget. So old dogs and new tricks, right? So they've spent 30 years with a conversation where there's a husband and a wife, and they've had the conversation seated like this. I'm talking to the husband. She doesn't even know what we're talking about. And so now we're starting to see the conversation become much more at least this.
Okay.
So that's one thing.
Okay.
Understand where, and again, I'm not trying to say it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's where the advisor side comes from.
Okay.
We're also seeing an interesting thing with, I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like we're getting a lot of widows younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's just an interesting thing. And I can't say it across the board, but there are the laws and the rules that say that life expectancy for men and women is longer by about, 3 to 4 years. But at the same time, if there's a husband and a wife, they both make it to 65. It's like a 60% probability that they make it to 80 and like a 40% chance that one of them makes it to 90. Mm-hmm. It'll probably be the woman. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. So with that being the case, we have to make sure that we're educating the other spouse is the term we came up with in the office. Because it felt like what happened was we had the dominant spouse for years who, and I say dominant, just financially dominant, who just handled all that. And the other spouse handled everything else. And when we would talk about finances, they may not even come to the appointment. They wouldn't want to talk about it. Or if they were there, they'd be doing something else, texting on their phone, and they just weren't paying attention. So we intentionally for years tried to build a model of the other spouse. What can we say in that meeting to engage them? Because that's the one that we're probably going to deal with after the one dies.
Right.
So there's multiple sides to that. Women are getting more and more educated and opportunistic with money, having the opportunity to earn, opportunity to save. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we have a older, aging financial advisor industry that isn't talking to them. Mm-hmm. So that's a real issue. There's a chasm between what should be and what is, and we're trying to work on that. We are trying to do it. As you see the newer age of financial advisors come in, I'm 41. I'm not the youngest, and I'm not the oldest. I'm kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a lot of widows. And actually, we've dealt with this very seriously this year. We've had a couple friends that we've lost that are not my age, but in young 50s. Mm-hmm. And good friends of ours, and seeing what their wives are dealing with now to go through it, it's really re-engaged us in that conversation of, do they both understand? Do they both get it?
Yeah.
And when one of us is lost in a car accident, when one of us is lost in whatever, or a heart attack or whatever comes up, how do we both know that we're going to be okay? How do we both have a voice in this conversation? So that's part of the strategy right now. But yeah, I remember specifically when we were buying a car. We're buying Kimberly's car. This is back in 2018. Yeah. 2017, 2018. Mm-hmm. We drive down from Michigan. We drive down to outside of Chicago, Arlington Heights, because we found a car online that we wanted. And it was Kimberly's car we're buying. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I'm going to remind you, we're a single income family. My income that I earn, she runs the house. It's our money. We've always run it as our money.
Of course.
But when you apply for a car loan, and you go through the whole pre-financing thing, they see Mike Douglas Financial, right? So we drive 4.5 hours to this car dealership, and we are sitting across from this guy. And he says to me, hey, I see you guys are looking at this car. We're buying a Suburban. Yeah. And he says, okay, cool. Now, Mike, what do you think about like floor mats? Do you want the WeatherTech or whatever? And I said, Kimberly, do you want WeatherTech floor mats in your car? And she was like, yeah, I do. Because we got the kids and everything. I said, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So she wants them. Let's get them. Okay, good. And then he asked me the next question, which was like, all right, Mike, we're looking at the interior protection package. He's kind of going through all of his upsells. Yeah. But he kept saying, hey, Mike. Yeah. And I told him, I said, hey, this is actually her car. So just ask her. Yeah. Okay. And so he goes, oh, I'm sorry. So he asks her. Then the next question, it's, hey, Mike.
What?
Hey, Mike.
After you specifically said to him, like, hey, this is her car, ask her. He went back to, hey, Mike. Weird. Okay.
Yep. He never read the room. And so we got to a point where I said, listen, it's her car. If you can't talk to her, we'll just leave. Ooh. Because I was getting so mad.
I'm sure.
Kimberly works so hard to take care of our family, to provide for our kids, to love on them. She homeschools the 4 kids. I mean, and they're raging, back then it was harder because the kids were younger, but she grinds, right? And all I do is go work and bring home a paycheck. And this guy wouldn't even talk to her. And it drove me crazy. I actually got pretty mad. But then he adjusted, calibrated, and closed his sale, right? But and he was probably 45, 50. He's not an old guy. Right? I say that now as a 41-year-old. He was a very young, average, middle-aged guy.
Just a whippersnapper.
Yeah, but it just drove me crazy. And I felt so, and so I remember in that moment, I was like, we will never talk that way to clients or prospects.
Yeah.
Because she felt invalidated. We're literally here to buy her car.
Yeah.
And that guy was talking to the guy who was signing. That's it. That's a frustrating feeling. Women have longevity on their side. They will most likely outlive their male counterpart. They will be the inheritor of all this money. Like that stat said, and by 2048, women are projected to inherit 80% of the $100 trillion great wealth transfer.
Yeah.
That's an $80 trillion industry. So if there's any financial
apparently,
advisors
according
watching,
to this, like untapped.
Yeah. If you're a financial advisor watching, don't be stupid. Start marketing to women because they will have the money.
Yep.
They will have that stuff. They will outlive so quit golfing with their husband all the time and spend some time loving on that wife because she's going to be the one that you're going to be dealing with.
Yep.
And there's a huge reason why the attrition rate of widows from financial advisors is sky high. It's insane. I think it's like 80% or 75% of women
will
the financial
leave
advisor.
you.
Yes, because you've never spoken to them. You've never loved on them. You've never treated them anyway. You've never done anything to make sure they felt heard whatsoever. You have to stop doing that. And women, you have to work with someone who hears your voice, who understands you. Now, you may say, I don't care about this stuff, right? And that's okay. You could say, you know what? Jeff handles this. I handle that. So I don't really do that. I understand that too. But when something goes wrong, do you understand where we're at? So you need a base level understanding. So if you're not involved in the finances, you need a base level understanding and work with someone who will talk to you like a regular person, help and not feel stupid or feel uneducated, because there's stuff that like when the kids tell me stuff right now, this is kind of a fun age as their education has gotten higher. They'll come to me and say, Dad, did you know this, that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's wrong. That's not true. And they are right because it's some science fact that they learned that Kimberly taught them. And I'm like, that's not true. And it's 100% right. It's interesting because there's things that I don't understand and that they are explaining to me. And in the same way, if you have finances, whether it's yours and your husband's or just yours, you need to have a level of understanding and you need to work with someone who is willing to teach you, not just who will sit this way and not even really address you.
Yep.
It's your money too.
Yep.
It's so important. Everything that I have earned is Kimberly's too, because her staying at home and her doing everything she's done and her letting me work 14-hour days for many years as we built this company, that is what got us here. And so to not acknowledge that or to not protect that with education is ridiculous. So be aware of that. There's a longevity thing. There's health and long-term care. We want to make sure that we have money for the long term. Okay. We want to protect if there's an income or career interruption, right? If you're working, you need to know how to cover the gap. If you step out for caregiving, what's interesting is we a lot of times we talk about and you hear things about, well, here's the thing. When you hire a woman at a younger age, there's a chance she's going to have kids and need time off. And you can't discriminate based on that, but it does factor into hiring decisions. As women age older, it's more likely that they will step out for caregiving purposes.
Got it.
Because if a husband and wife are married and their parent needs care, it's statistically more likely the woman will stop her career to go care for the parent. So how do we accomplish that? How do we figure that in? And again, I'm not saying anything's right, wrong, whatever.
Right.
But whatever your situation is, if you're a stay-at-home wife, homeschooler, not homeschooler, whatever you do, then we need a plan to make sure you understand your finances and move forward.
Yep.
If you're a dual income family and you're both working, we need a plan to make sure that you understand your finances. If the husband dies, if the wife dies, whatever, it's a family thing.
Yep.
So we need to make sure we're prepared and understand that. If you're single, what do your tax rates look like? What do your brackets look like? If you've been through a divorce, how do we navigate that? FMO widow, all these scenarios. It's just about understanding and working with someone who understands you, who gets it, and who will talk to you, right? That's the most frustrating thing. And I can't say that enough. What Kimberly and I went through at that, I should just say what Kimberly and I went through because I just got ticked off about it. But she was the one who was actually being belittled, right? What she went through in that moment changed the way we do everything. now, when we bought our house, right, we always like, I make sure, because for a long time I was like, listen, it's just faster for me to DocuSign stuff and just get it through.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Now, everything. She's on everything.
Got
Why?
it.
Because
she needs to
feel validated. She needs to feel heard, because what she does is just as important, actually probably more important than what I do. So if you are a woman who wants to understand, if you're a woman, I'm not saying it that way.
Woman, listen, I'm going to say it for you. Woman, listen.
Yes. Work with someone who hears you.
Yeah.
Learn from someone who hears you. There's ways you can grow, you can learn. If you need help with something, or if you need to feel heard, please feel free to reach out to us. You can, reach us at michigansretirementcoach.com. You can give us a call, and we can help out, 517-323-7526. Or just subscribe to this page. Just follow this information.
Yeah.
We care about you. We know that you are who you are. We hear you, and we want to give you a voice in your financial future. Yeah. So your voice matters. Don't settle for being a passenger in your financial plan when you can be the driver, or you probably will end up being the driver at some point. The future of wealth is pretty heavily female, is what we're seeing from these stats. And the time to get caught up on your planning is actually coming right now.
Yeah.
It's the reality.
Yeah.
So let's make sure we have a plan for you to be successful in the future.
Yeah. michigansretirementcoach.com. That's the website where you can connect to Mike and his team if you are ready to begin the conversation, or perhaps you're realizing that there is an advisor of some sort in your life that is not paying the attention to you that you would like, or if you're a man listening to this, that advisor is not paying attention to your wife or your partner the way that you would like. Maybe it's time to make a switch, get a second opinion on how to plan moving forward. Because ladies, it's going to be us. It sounds like managing all this stuff. So might as well give ourselves some information and a place.
Can I insert something in here?
Yeah.
Too?
Yeah.
So for a long time, I thought I was doing Kimberly a favor.
Yeah.
By just handling stuff.
Yep.
Right. It's kind of it's a well-hearted jerk move. Right. And so I was like, oh, I'll just take care of it so she doesn't have to worry about it, so she can do her thing. And because I love her so much, I don't want her to be burdened by this. Yep. Right. That was the actual thought. There was no chauvinism in it. Right?
All you're doing is you're creating future burdens for her.
It's a future burden.
Yep.
And as we've lost a couple of friends this summer,
you've learned a lot.
It's been really hard because we've had some friends die. Yeah. And Kimberly says, what would I do?
Mm-hmm. So it stings that she's having to have that rude awakening, but I do think it happens to a lot of women, or they're in a case where they've become a widow and they realize they don't even know what to do. And now they have to go through all those emotions and figure out the plan. And they have to deal with the stress of figuring out, or maybe their husband was a DIYer. They don't even have a person to call. That's another thing that I think that happens to a lot of women. So ladies, consider this.
Men don't shut her out to do her a favor.
Yeah, right.
That's not doing her a favor.
Nope.
Help her, bring her, engage her in the
conversation.
Process. Absolutely.
Yeah. Ladies, take action. Fellas, everybody take action. Financial planning is for everyone.
Do something.
Do something. Do it. Again, we've got links posted in the show notes if you want to click there to get to Mike's website. Let's get started on this conversation. Again, it's michigansretirementcoach.com.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit michigansretirementcoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.